I say it's been damn near forever since I've been out in the Ace. It's been damn near forever. It's been sitting for probably a year, and last couple times I rode it, well, second to last time I rode it, I sort of swamped it, running a little bit rough, but I thought I had a little fuel in the line because it's smoothed out. Then about a year ago, we were over in Top Trails in Talladega, and it wasn't idling good, but it was running good up to speed. And again, I just wasn't sure if I had water in the gas from swamping it or not. So it is set for basically a year because I've just been occupied with the KLR and doing other things. So I finally got around to changing the spark plug, which was a nightmare. I'll show you guys a little bit about that in a few minutes. And if I ride up, put a little heat in the gas just to make sure, and it's running great. So this is the first time in probably a little over a year that I've been out in this thing. Came back down to the lake this weekend. My initial plans were to bring the RZR 1000 out and ride it. But seeing as I hadn't rode this thing forever and spark plugs seemed to rectify the problems, I figured, what the heck. Plus these things are a blast to drive. So great location. I mapped out a route on my Ride with GPS app. I know a good portion of the route that I'm riding without it, but I don't ride everything. So check it out and try to follow the route and see how this thing goes. So Polaris stopped making the Ace models a couple years ago. They made the 325 model, the 570, and the Ace 900, which was a bear. A lot of horsepower for a single seat small cart. The 325 and the 570 that I'm in now are basically built on a Polaris Sportsman quad frame and chassis, except for you sit in the seat. So the 2015 570, just like the 325s, they're a single cylinder motor, and it's listed as a 570, but I believe the actual CCs is 567. And I've done some modifications on this machine. I put a 2-inch lift kit on it, give it a little more clearance, which stiffened up the shocks quite a bit. I've also got 1-inch wheel spacers on the back, or correction, on the front and the back, to give it a little bit more wider of a stance. It does have aftermarket no limit wheels that I put on it, and I am running 28-inch swap lights on it. And I've had these tires forever, and pretty good all-around tires for mud, rock. I can't complain. They've lasted a long time. I've even used to run these same tires that are on this machine for a while on my old Razor 800 4-seater, and had no issues with that machine. Really haven't done too many other modifications. Put on solid doors here. They are UTV Giant doors. I don't even think they make them anymore. Put them on. I designed the color scheme myself, and took the skins to a Minuteman Press, a guy that does printing for my business, and he made the color scheme for me. They take a little beating, but they're still held up pretty well. And I got the back cargo compartment container. And I do have a front full windshield that I don't have on now, which, following this vehicle, I wish I had it on right now because I'm getting dusted out. And I put a roof on it, and I've got a radio up there, and really that's it. No other modifications. This thing is bone stock. Alright, so it's back up to 201, then it went back down, so I'm assuming the fan's kicking back on. The flashing is the damn clock. So the fan's going back down. We're taking the temps back down, I should say. I'm not sure if I've just got a bad relay or something was loose. Tapped on the relays and a couple things, and boom, everything came back on. So let's run around the house and check it. The one thing that a lot of people ask me if they've never seen an Ace or never drove one, how's it handle, how's it drive? Well, I'll tell you this, there's actually a learning curve to these things because all of the engine weight is behind you. So going up steeper hills, you really get the light tippy feeling on the front. And that's one of the reasons why I put the extended bumper and put the winch out on it to sort of counterbalance for when I'm doing hill climbs. So all the weight is over the rear, and going up steep angles, yeah, you definitely start getting a little bit of a lighter front end for sure. The stock shocks on them pretty much suck. Thank goodness that the seat at least pads your ass a little bit from the bumps. But like I said, I did put 2-inch lift spacers on this thing, so that brought my shocks in with a little bit more vertical, which actually adds to the stiffness of the ride. So I give up comfort of the ride for a little bit more ground clearance. To counter that, I did take the rear sway bars off. So it does give a little bit more articulation on off-camera roads. But one thing that you will definitely notice with the rear sway bars off these things, if you start hitting corners at a higher speed, you will start getting that roll effect. So that's just something you have to take into account if you do take your sway bars off the back of an Ace, whether it's a 325 or the 570. I can't really speak for the 900 model. I've never rode one. Better start hiding, Bambi. Hunting season's coming. There she goes. There's deer all out through these woods. Here's another one. So 2 of them, 2 does. I don't know if you can see on, they're both right there. I don't know if you can see that one looking at me or not. Actually, there's 3 of them out there. And there goes the lake. That's Lake St. Clair. And the squirrel. Beautiful lake. We've had a place out here since 2005. Bought it before I ever retired and kept a camper on it for about 5 years, and I'll retire. We put our place on it. And pretty much a weekend retreat. Love coming down here. And this is the main channel that we're on. We live up around down that way. By boat, about a 2-minute boat ride. Quick trail ride right here. Start heading back home. Georgia clay. I'm gonna go ahead and kick in 4. That's the bad thing about coming out here. If you get stuck, you're screwed because there's nothing to winch on. Oh yeah, nice and slushy Georgia clay there. Had that happen before. Buried my grizzly out here. Nothing to winch on. So you have to go get another machine or do the old boat anchor on the ground trick and winch off to the boat anchor and hope it holds enough to get you moving. steep climb. I know it doesn't look like it on camera, but it is. And like I said before, all the weight on these machines is in the back, because that's where the motor is. So it can make hill climbing a little sketchy. And you can probably hear the shocks and bushings. Yes, they've always been this noisy. Steep little climb. And that's the thing about these things here, that you pretty much, you're strapped in the machine and you go where the machine goes, whereas on an ATV you can get out there and shift your weight left and right, and if need be you can hop off of it and let the machine go in. And that's just the thing here, that you're strapped in, and wherever the machine goes is where you're going. And knock on wood, I've only put it on the side at one time at Durham Town, or not Durham Town, but Top Trails, and it's like anything else. You just hold on the steering wheel, keep your hands inside the machine, and go for the ride and slide. All right, once again, the fan is cut out, so I am going to call it a day. Once I get this thing going, ain't no sense in taking chances, and this shit's getting old. All right, so there it is. Now the fan's working. So it's something with that relay right there. It keeps getting hit or whatever, and it moves, and that's the issues. The clicks aren't working, so that's why I got this makeshift thing there. I swear, like I just said, it's always something with these machines. All right. See if I can get this thing started and get us home. It's crazy. All right. Enough's enough. I guess the next thing, start cutting the lawn. Riding lawnmower is better than nothing, I guess. All right, so while the fan is cooling it off, to get to the spark plug, like I said, the worst design in the world. You have to pull this seat out, pull the firewall out, and right there on top of the head is the spark plug. So you drop the plug down in the cylinder, but you see that metal bar there? Gives you about a whopping inch to work, so horrible design.